Angel Reese, ejected from the game, picked up a pair of technical fouls for unsportsmanlike conduct. The end of the first half.
What happens when the self-proclaimed star of women's basketball can't back up her trash talk? Just ask Angel Reese. Her recent performance in the Unrivaled League has fans and critics alike wondering if she's all talk and no game.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero, zip, nothing.
From a humiliating loss to Sabrina Ionescu to becoming the first player ejected in league history, Reese's journey is a masterclass in how not to be a professional athlete. And here's the reality. While Reese is busy making headlines for all the wrong reasons, the Unrivaled ratings are in free fall, with viewership barely hitting 100,000 per game. It seems fans aren't buying what Reese is selling. Is this the end of her reign before it even began? Let's break it down.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Picture this Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed queen of women's basketball, strutting onto the court like she owns the place. She's facing off against Sabrina Ionescu, and Reese is feeling herself. But little does she know she's about to eat her words in the most spectacular way possible. Let's set the scene. As usual, Reese is running her mouth like there's no tomorrow. A hot mic catches her trash. Talking Ionescu defense, Sabrina can't guard, she boasts, "Oh, Angel, if only you knew what was coming."
That 12 was good. Yep.
Sabrina can't guard.
They're switching. It's over.
The game continues, and it's clear from the get-go that things aren't going Reese's way. Ionescu isn't just guarding. She's putting on a masterclass. It's like watching an Olympian take on a rookie weight. That's exactly what's happened, and Reese is looking more and more like the newbie with every passing minute. Get main three for Sabrina, 29 points. Reno. As the game unfolds, Ionescu's stats start piling up.
Sabrina can't fucking guard.
Get Ionescu, sixth main three for Sabrina, 29 points. Reese, no.
Are you ready for this? 32 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and get this, she does it all in just 19 minutes. That's not a typo, folks. 19 minutes. It's like Yonu is playing on cheat mode while Reese is stuck in tutorial. Meanwhile, Reese is having a night. She'd rather forget her shots aren't falling. Her defense, well, let's just say it's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. She's flailing, she's failing, and it's painful to watch off the leg of Reese. Its phantom ball should get on a applause. Music. Flight. The gap between the teams keeps widening. Ionescu Phantom Basketball Club is pulling ahead, leaving Reese's Rose BC in the dust. It's not even close to final score. Phantom 75, Rose 63. But the real story isn't in the numbers, it's in what happens next. If somehow, someway, Angel Reese actually plays a competent, sound basketball game, her teams lose. All right, I don't know why that is, but her unrivaled team is an unmitigated disaster. All right, a team that's got real talent on it. Kaylee Copera. Chelsea Gray. Angel Reese, wasn't she supposed to be the third one here?
If somehow, some way, Angel Reese actually plays a competent, sound basketball game, her teams lose. All right? I don't know why that is, but her unrivaled team is an unmitigated disaster. All right? A team that's got real talent on it. Kaylee Copper, Chelsea Gray, Angel Reese, wasn't she supposed to be the third one here? The three-headed monster? Well,
three-headed monster. Well, after the game, Ionescu could have gone for the jugular. She could have trash-talked right back, rubbed salt in the wound. But what does she do instead? She posts a simple LOL on Twitter, that's it. And somehow that's more devastating than any insult. Could have been it's the social media equivalent of a mic drop. And Reese is left looking like the punchline to a joke she didn't even know was being told. She ran a clinic on Angel Reese in the Rose BC last night, and it is hilarious. So Angel ran her mouth right there about Sabrina this morning, 9:12 a.m. Laugh out loud, Sabrina Ionescu, right there. Yes, she crushed them a watch. Well, you're doing a little bit like Caitlin Clark, you piss her off. She's going to crash you, think, after a humiliation like that. Reese would lay low for a while, maybe work on her game, reflect on her attitude. But nope, that's not Angel Reese's style. Instead, she's about to make headlines again during the next night. And trust me, not in a good way, though. Rose BC are won. And for I mean, this team is disastrous. And let us not forget after the All-Star break, the Chicago sky melted down last year. As the double-double streak rose, All Right rose up out of the ruins. Just when you thought Angel Reese couldn't top her embarrassing performance against Sabrina, she decides to make history, but not in the way you'd expect from a self-proclaimed basketball star. No, Reese is about to etch her name in the Unrivaled record books for all the wrong reasons. It's Rose Basketball Club versus LA's Basketball Club, and Reese is fired up, maybe a little too fired up. The game's intense from the start, but something's off. You can feel it in the air. Reese is playing like she's got something to prove, but it's not her skills that are about to take center stage for a minute. Now to ace on the rollout. How about Rose holding McBride to just 5 points? Reese claps her hands and reaches in with the beat. Oh, she just got teed up music. So I didn't see the reaction of Tiffany Hayes, as she's now standing in front of her. The moment that changes everything happens in a flash. Reese fouls Tiffany Hayes, but what comes next, that's the real shocker. Reese, in all her wisdom, decides to throw a dismissive wave at who the ref. Hayes, it doesn't matter, because that simple gesture is about to cost her big time. The referee's whistle cuts through the air like a knife. Technical foul. You'd think that would be enough to make Reed cool it right. Wrong. Instead of backing down, she goes full steam ahead. She's in the ref's face, arguing. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You want to look away, but you can't. I think Reese was gesturing towards Hayes, and maybe the official thought it was to know. I think Angel Reese was just music. Toss, come on. Well, there's our first unrivaled ejection. Another whistle, second technical. And just like that, Angel Reese becomes the first player ever ejected from an unrivaled game. Let that sink in for a moment. We didn't even know technicals existed in Unrivaled, in a league that's barely gotten off the ground. Reese has already managed to set a record, just not the kind you'd want on your resume. As Reese starts her walk of shame off the court, Tiffany Hayes can't resist twisting the knife. She's pointing to the exit, a clear message: don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's a moment of pure Shad and Freud for anyone who's ever been annoyed by Reese's antics. Atmosphere that Henry talking to the officials. Let it go. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I think
Reese was gesturing towards Hayes, and maybe the official thought it was to
No,
him.
I think Angel Reese was just tossed.
Well, there's our first unrivaled ejection.
so. What's Reese's stat line for the night? Brace yourself. 6 points, 15 rebounds, and 1 historic ejection, all in just 7 minutes of play. That's efficiency of a different kind, folks. She managed to get herself thrown out of the game faster than some people take to decide what to order at a drive-thru. Rue was suiting up for Rose. BC was tossed late in the second quarter of her team's matchup, so she did this early in the game, bro. It was the second quarter. Now Rose definitely needs some wins, bro. So for her to do this, she pretty much sabotaged her team, I must say. But here's the million-dollar question: what does this mean for Reese's future in the league? Is this just a blip on the radar, or the start of a troubling pattern? Because let's face it, getting ejected isn't exactly a great look for someone who's supposed to be the self-proclaimed face of women's basketball. Here's the thing about Angel Reese: she's out of control. That's a recipe for disaster. And right now, it looks like Reese is cooking up a storm of controversy that could overshadow everything else she's achieved. This is crazy to me that Angel Reese caught herself in this position at Unrivaled, bro. CHC, first player ever in Unrivaled history to be tossed from a damn game, dog. She got lured by example. Did she just get a McDonald's deal? This is what people like young ladies have to look up to Angel Reese, bro. And she's not leading by example. Remember, when Angel Reese bragged about people watching women's basketball for her, well, the numbers are in, and they're telling a different story. Let's talk about Unrivaled ratings, because they're becoming a real head scratcher. Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that. Picture this: Unrivaled debut weekend, the hype is real. And the numbers look pretty good. We're talking about 300,000 viewers on average, not too shabby. Right, it's even in line with WNBA games that don't feature Caitlin Clark. TNT celebrating like they've hit the jackpot, calling it the highest viewed women's basketball games in their network history. But hold up, because that's not saying much. They released the first television numbers, TNT did, and they're bragging about them because, well, they're the best they've ever been because they've only been once. It's like being the most handsome man at the Dockage family reunion. It sounds good, but it really doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. Look, let's be honest, the new Women's Basketball Professional 3 Honor League, the numbers were released from TNT, and they are not very good now. Here's where it gets interesting after that. Initial buzz wears off, something strange starts happening. The ratings, they're dropping faster than Reese's playing time after that ejection. We're talking a nosedive from 300,000 to barely 100,000 viewers per game. Are you ready for this? That's less than a third of what they started with. What's going on here is that the competition, maybe people are choosing to watch paint dry instead. Is it the time slots? Perhaps they're airing games when everyone's busy watching cat videos, or is it something else?
They released the first television numbers, TNT did, and they're bragging about them because, well, they're the best they've ever been. Because they've only been once. It's like being the most handsome man at the Dockage family reunion. It sounds good, but it really doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. Look, let's be honest, the new Women's Basketball Professional 3-on-3 League. The numbers were released from TNT, and they are not very good.
Maybe someone else, and it's hilarious because it's my understanding now, she keeps telling us, Angel Reese keeps telling us that it's not just Caitlin Clark, that she's part of this brigade of BA women's basketball players that are leading all these new viewers into the WNBA. And I think it's these ratings right here that prove the biggest point. This is more statistical data that proves nobody's tuning in to see. Angel Reese, let's look at the games featuring Angel Reese. Are they drawing more viewers, or are people changing the channel faster than Reese? Can say you can't guard me. The harsh truth is Reese's antics aren't translating to viewership. In fact, they might be hurting the league. But wait, there's more to the story. What's the league saying about all this? Alex Basil, Unrivaled president, is trying to put a positive spin on things. He's talking about how the initial ratings were strong and how they're focusing on quality and building momentum, but with numbers falling faster than Reese's approval rating. You've got to wonder, is he watching the same games? We knew TNT would have to do something to try to spin this in some kind of positive direction. And I just don't think there's a way to do it, because Unrivaled, the Women's Basketball League, the new Women's Basketball League that we said would be dead on arrival without Caitlin Clark playing in it, was in fact dead on arrival. All right, or let's just say unraveled already, and we just started. Here's the kicker: while live viewership is tanking, social media engagement for Unrivaled is through the roof. We're talking 31 million views of content across platforms during the opening weekend. So people are watching, just not the actual games. It's like everyone's tuning in for the highlight reel, but skipping the main event. Now, let's put this in perspective. The WNBA, with Caitlin Clark in the mix, is pulling in over 1 million viewers per game whenever Clark is on the screen. Even without Clark, they're averaging around 400,000 per game. Unrivaled there. Not even in the same league, literally and figuratively. The funniest part about these ratings that they put out, I mean, God, TNT Sports must be dizzy with the level of spin they're trying to give this thing, and Front Office Sports tried to spin it too. No, the ratings are bad. But here's where it gets wild. The solution to Unrivaled viewership woes might not be about Reese or ratings at all. There's a game-changing factor on the horizon that could flip everything we thought we knew about women's basketball leagues. What is it? You won't believe it when you find out the fallout from Angel Reese's antics is hitting Unrivaled like a freight train, and everyone's got something to say about it. Let's dive into the reactions, because they're as wild as Reese's on-court behavior. In fact, the viewership actually dropped between the first game and the second game from last Friday, the debut of Unrivaled. Now, why is that significant? Angel Reese played in the second game and they lost viewers from the first game. Now, once again, tell me how you're moving the needle, because people literally tuned out when your game came on first up. The fans, they're not holding back. Social media is buzzing with comments ranging from "they cheated you" to calls for Reese to leave the league altogether. It's like watching a tennis match with opinions flying back and forth faster than Reese's air balls. But it's not just the fans, even NBA players are weighing in. Draymond Green, known for his own on-court antics, couldn't stomach what he was seeing. He reportedly turned off the game, saying the quality of play was just too low. When Draymond Green thinks you're being too much, you know you've crossed a line. And what about Unrivaled officials? They're in full-on panic mode. Picture a bunch of suits running around with their hair on fire, trying to figure out how to salvage this mess. They're probably wishing they could eject Reese from the league as easily as she got ejected from that game. Speaking of ejections, let's talk about that tweet after getting tossed. Reese took to Twitter with a simple "free me" 2 words that spoke volumes. Was she calling out the refs, the league, or maybe she's asking to be freed from her own reputation? Either way, it's not a good look, and later she added, can't wait to get back to Chicago.
The viewership actually dropped between the first game and the second game from last Friday, the debut of Unrivaled. Now, why is that significant? Angel Reese played in the second game, and they lost viewers from the first game. Now, once again, tell me how you're moving the needle, because people literally tuned out when your game came on.